Welcome from Kristina, Suzanne, Tyler, and Larry. Let us introduce you to the world of Lululemon, or Lulu as it is affectionately called. Lululemon, where it's more than a brand, it is a lifestyle. Lululemon's corporate strategy is very simple. It is all about marketing a lifestyle versus a product. People are drawn to the company because of the actively promoted Lululemon's Athletica and the iViva Athletica and its promise of an active and enjoyable lifestyle. It's the sweat life. Lululemon can price their products at a premium price because people view their product as a fashion apparel as well as exercise gear. Lululemon has carved out a niche in the athletic apparel industry. While their primary target was women, they have expanded into the youth and men's market. Lulu has a very unique strategy. Instead of spending millions sponsoring celebrities to promote their brand like so many other retail fashion brands, Lululemon gives product and discounts to local fitness instructors like personal trainers and yogis. They are then called ambassadors who become a walk-in billboard ad for Lululemon. The ambassadors also provide valuable feedback about the clothes. Now, this is a quid pro quo that actually works. It works for both Lulu and the fitness instructors. They become a walk-in ad for Lulu, and the ambassadors gets to build their brand with a very reputable clothing brand. They also get their photographs hung in the local stores. While their core strategy has not changed, they have elevated it, and their current strategy, under the leadership of the current CEO, Calvin McDonald, was unveiled this year. It is called the Power of Three. The first step is product innovation. The company expects to more than double the size of its men's revenue by 2023. In addition, its plans calls for continued expansion in the women's and accessory businesses. Both existing and new product categories are planned to grow, with line supports in yoga, running, and training. The company also plans to continue its products collaboration, expand its popular office travel commute category, and pursue new opportunities such as self care. The second power of three is market expansion. The company plans to quadruple its international revenues also by 2023. The company's recent success in its international market demonstrates that the sweat life translates across cultures and geographies, and presents considerable growth potential for the brand, expanding across China as well as the APAC and the EMEA regions will be continued areas of focus for the company. The company also believes that considerable growth potential remains in both the United States and Canada, and it's planned to leverage its agile store formats, digital experience, and community connection. The final strategy in the power of three is the omni guest experiences. The company expects to more than double its digital revenues by 2023. The company will focus on offering an integrated guest experience across channels, which are intended to inspire, provoke, and celebrate guests who live a healthy and mindful lifestyle across multiple experiences, such as events, dynamic new store formats, and its innovative membership program that fosters connections among guests. Lululemon does not follow the trend. The Lululemon head office is called the Store Support Center. It reflects a company wide emphasis on stores as the place where customers touch the brand. Lululemon tolerates and even encourages brand extension at the store level. Individual managers are empowered to customize their stores to reflect their local communities. Previous CEO Christine Day explains, no matter what strategies are created at the head office, the people who execute the strategic plan are at the front line. They are the front line.
Lululemon was founded by Dennis Chip Wilson in Vancouver, Canada in 1998. Chip had a career in the surf, ski, and the skatewear industries. He saw an opportunity to bring technical performance-oriented clothing to yoga products. He took his love for yoga, which inspired him to create technical athletic apparel for women and men. By day, he designed in his studio. By night, he opened his studio up to yoga, where he brought in people to share his products with and to get input on changes. He opened up his first standalone store in November of 2000. The first Lululemon store was opened at West 4th Avenue, Vancouver, British Canada, in the Castellano neighborhood. The vision of Lululemon is to create more than just a workplace or a place where people can get gear and to sweat in. They wanted to create a community hub where people could learn and discuss the physical aspects of healthy living, mindfulness, and living a life of possibility. It was important to create relationships with the guests to find out what they were passionate about, why they sweat, and to help them reach their goals. Development and growth between 1998 and 2005, Lululemon sold their products basically by word of mouth at yoga studios and utilized instructors, or what they call ambassadors, to promote their products and display them. In 2005, Chip sold 48% of the company to Advent International and Highland Capital Partners for $225 million Canadian dollars. In 2007, the company went public and sold stocks for about $350 million. In 2014, net sales of Lululemon was $1.8 billion. In 2015, they increased their sales again to $2 billion. In September of 2014, Chip sold 50% of the company and 40% or 40.2 million shares in the company for $845 million. He still owns 20.1 million shares at 13.85%. In 2015, Chip Wilson left the board of directors of Lululemon and now works with his wife and son at a company they created called Kit and Ace, a performance-driven daywear and loungewear company. How Lululemon set up a permanent shop was they would rent temporary storerooms or pop-up shops. Their educators would learn about the people in the neighborhoods. They would also monitor and check which zip codes in that area were buying the most clothing. They looked for fitness-minded people who had a lifestyle, not just for yoga, but fitness-minded people in general. They create a community. They get the ambassadors or yogis from yoga studios involved in the process and enlist their aid with selling their products. Once they have all this in place, they move to a permanent space and open a permanent Lululemon store.
The external environment surrounding Lululemon illustrates what the market is like and affects how the company will need to respond in order to continue their growth and success. First, there has been an increase in health and wellness awareness. As a result of this trend, many more people are engaging in fitness activities like going to the gym, running, and yoga. The trend of athleisure, or athletic wear for fitness activities as well as casual everyday wear, is growing in popularity. The competitive environment includes the major established athletic companies that are able to sell similar fitness apparel for half or one-third of Lululemon's price, as well as other smaller companies opening fitness apparel lines, keeping pressure on the competition. When we look at demographic factors, the millennial generation has a preference for casual attire, including athleisure apparel. Lastly, the economy has grown in recent years, with a correlation in increased consumer spending on apparel. When we look at a SWOT analysis of Lululemon, we evaluate their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths include high quality. They use the best materials to produce technical apparel that performs. Everything is designed by athletes for athletes. They focus on building the business from their core in the niche market for fitness apparel. Instead of paying high-profile athletes to promote their brand, they choose ambassadors that share the same core values in local communities, which is difficult for competitors to replicate. There is strong brand loyalty. People connect to what the brand represents. Stores are very customer-centric and focus on creating relationships with their guests. Another strength is the location and management of their stores. Store educators are knowledgeable and empowered to create their own success through decentralized management of their store operations. Stores are strategically located primarily in affluent urban areas. Weaknesses include high apparel prices. Clothing is expensive, especially for young women. Their price points are higher than other popular athletic competitors. Another weakness is how the company doesn't communicate well when a crisis hits, like the sheer pants debacle. Because of the grassroots marketing, they are not good at widely communicating their side of the story to the general public. Lastly, the change in top management resulted in different leadership styles that disrupted the company's journey towards a vision that was aligned with founder Chip Wilson. Opportunities that Lululemon can take advantage of to grow their business include a general increasing interest in health and fitness. The more people gaining interest, the more market opportunities they have. They can focus on creating more awareness around developing their men's line, since the current perception is that Lululemon is a brand for women. Digital and e-commerce are areas where the company can grow by using social media to reach more fitness enthusiasts in addition to website sales. There's also growth opportunities in international markets. They are well positioned in these markets already, so there's room to grow, especially as the high energy for fitness lifestyle grows internationally. Threats to business primarily include other major competitors. Larger companies like Nike, Under Armour, and Adidas have a strong control over the fitness market and offer comparable quality at lower price points, which continue to pull market share away from fitness niche companies like Lululemon.
So the company structure of Lululemon to be more of a functional structure. Basically, this is when departments are grouped together based on what their skills are, their tasks, or their accountabilities. Most companies that have a functional structure would, for example, have like an HR department or an IT or a marketing department. Or sometimes not those three, but they will have similarities. Lululemon's hierarchy has the CEO, Calvin McDonald, who was just appointed about a year ago, at the top. And reporting to him would be the Executive Vice President, the Chief Financial Officer, the Chief Operating Officer, and the Chief Product Officer. And then below them would be the managers of each of the stores. Now, how do managers get compensated? 80% of their pay is the base pay of the salary that Lululemon gives them, and the other 20% would be the commission that the managers make off their stores for each year. They do this to keep the managers' pay competitive, because they have lots of freedom running their stores and it's not a chain. They want the managers to make the stores and design the stores based on what the area they're in. So basically a store in Boston would be completely different than what a store in England would be, because they don't want it to be a chain and have it the same design all over the world. They want people that go into their stores to feel like they are at home when they're coming into the stores. Some structure issues with Lululemon would be the marketing. So managers are free to create any marketing strategy that they want, basically because they have the freedom to make the stores their own based on where the stores are located. This can cause some backlash from people, since the corporate offices don't have full control over each store that is advertised. So either you have poor marketing, bad marketing, or just controversial marketing and advertising based on where the stores are located. But the board and top executives like McDonald have to be willing to face this backlash, and they have to be able to know that they don't always have full control over this, but this is what their structure is and it has worked in the past, and they need to continue to go down this path. So the current status of Lululemon: when Calvin McDonald came in, most people thought it would be a boost of energy that the company needed, and it sure was. When in 2018, the revenues rose 24% from 2017 to $3.3 billion in 2018. Now the company is over 16,000 employees strong, and they feel like with the success that came in 2018, those results would just bring new energy to the company. McDonald came in and was appointed to help fix the culture of the company after a series of missteps in the years prior, and after a very successful 2018, they are looking to the future. One of the three ways that they have noticed that they need to go to the future is with the men's clothing line. McDonald lives the fitness lifestyle, and he understands and wants to expand this men's clothing target market. He loves Lululemon and feels like the men's clothing industry could be a huge money revenue driving force for the company. They also want to continue their growth after a record 2018, so continue what they were doing there and expanding overseas. So far, they have 21 stores in Europe and 34 in Asia, but they need to be careful moving forward, especially with Brexit in England right now, where they have 12 stores, and the luxury spending in Asia has been going down, so they need to be wary of creating new stores in Asia and what their pricing is over there.
Based on extensive research and our visit to Lululemon stores, this is our recommendation. They are known for their women's yoga apparel. They actively promote the lifestyle and they rely heavily on customer satisfaction to help promote the brand so they could gain new clientele. They have made the foray into men's apparel, but they will have to get a lot more aggressive in marketing if they want to get men to visit the store. Men are not typical visitors to Lululemon. In fact, they typically walk past a Lululemon. They don't associate with the active lifestyles for men. The current CEO is very much into fitness, which is a very good representation, but men don't actively seek out information on CEOs if they want to purchase products. They found a marketing strategy that worked to attract women. They must be equally diligent in finding a strategy that works to attract men. They mentioned it in the Power of Three. Now they just have to execute it. How will Lululemon get men to shop their brand instead of Nike, Under Armour, and other well known sporting brands? They need to develop this strategy as soon as possible if they want to get a foothold in the ever expanding apparel market. We also recommend that they stay on the path that they are going on, but they have to be cautious about expanding too fast into the international market. They need to stabilize the brand here first. For example, men's clothing market. They should have a firm foothold at home before they go overseas. We recommend also that they find a microphone, in other words, something that they're able to quickly communicate to the general public. During a crisis, like the Sherpants incident or seaweed in clothing, they need to have an effective marketing voice that can immediately address the problem and fix it. This is Kristina, Suzzane, Tyler, and Larry. We want to say thank you for taking the time to watch our Lululemon presentation. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned something. We hope you were inspired to live that sweat life.